What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind. Woo! Man, did JoJo come back with a bang! Ladies and gentlemen, after about 2-week delay because DC fandom and, of course, The Dark Knight Returns, which you guys know I reviewed those. If you guys want to check those out, if I remember, I'll leave a link to part 1 up in the iCards above. If you guys wanted to check out that video. But yeah, man. This was obviously the debut, or the episode where we finally got the 7-page Muda, and it was as epic as always. I saw it subbed, right, of course, obviously when it came out, so but the dub, man, absolutely fantastic, man. I'm loving JoJo, man. It's crazy. We're almost near the end too, which is crazy. It's also kind of crazy that, like, you know, we're already reaching. We only got like what, 8 episodes left, I think. Or like 8 or 7 episodes left, so we're near the finish line, man. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, man. Anyway, so yeah. Also, one thing I actually want to talk about real quick before we jump right into this episode is actually Toonami actually had, like, Tom did this like little speech. Now you guys know I live on the West Coast, which means I get usually, and Toonami airs the East Coast first, obviously. So if anything crazy comes down, if anything crazy happens on Toonami, you know, maybe like we find out whatever the April Fool's thing is, or maybe there's like a review that drops, whatever, a game reviewer drops, or just some interesting clip, just something, anything that usually happens. Usually I might find out on Twitter a few hours before it starts here on the West Coast. So I noticed that they actually had, and from one of the Toonami Twitter accounts I follow, it had this speech, Tom's speech, and it did hashtag Black Lives Matter. Now I didn't watch it at first when I saw a tweet. I think I bookmarked it or whatever, because I was gonna wait and just watch it when, you know, it aired on Toonami. I actually ended up missing it, I guess, because I'm assuming it probably aired during Dragon Ball Super, probably, which I didn't watch. Because, you know, I mean, I love Dragon Ball Super, but Jesus Christ, I don't love it that much. To rewatch it, at least now. But yeah, man. So, you know, it was nice to see, like, these, and apparently I think Toonami also did something like this similar back in, like, 2014. I think the last time they did something kind of similar, talking about racism and everything, which, you know, I mean, me personally, I thought it was kind of cool. And Steve Bloom actually replied to the tweet from one of the Toonami News and said, "I stand by this personally and professionally." And looking at the replies, actually a few of the other YouTubers I follow actually are replying to this tweet, which I find kind of interesting, actually. But yeah, man, you know, I thought that was a cool little message from Steve Bloom. I mean, I don't really care either way. I'm not losing sleep either way about this, but you know. Hey, I like the Toonami that Steve Bloom that they went out of their way and did this for Toonami. But yeah, it's cool. Anyway, enough of me talking about that. Let's just jump right into the episode. So we start this episode off after hearing that OP one again, which it was so good to hear that OP again. We start over where we left off the last week with Seko going up against Bucciarati. So we got Seko, they're kind of having their own little Mexican standoff almost. Not quite, like there was no tumbleweeds and nothing, but still, they were staring down each other, one-on-one, mano-y-mano, ladies and gents. So you got Seko being like, "I hope you picked up a new trick, Bucciarati, because that's not gonna work again." And he's like, "You dirty son of a..." And Bucciarati just kind of just stands there waiting for him to finish it, but then Seko's like, "You dirty son of a porch." And I'm just like, as a YouTuber, man, I relate. I mean, you guys know me, if you guys are long time subs, y'all know that I don't wash my mouth. I swear like a motherfucker. I don't give a fuck. I curse like there's no tomorrow. Ladies and gents, I curse. But that's mostly because I'm not getting any ad revenue from these views. If I did, then maybe I would start washing my mouth, to be fair. But anyway, man. So, like, he's, like, struggling to figure out what, trying to say son of a bitch. And then Bucciarati's just like, "The word you're looking for is bitch." He's like, "I knew that. What are you, some kind of language expert?" And so then he kind of goes around, grabs out the camera and everything, gets it set up, ready for go. Then Bucciarati, and keep on, Seko had his back turned to Bucciarati, setting up the camera and everything. So once he turns back, and when his back is turned, then out of nowhere, Seko hits Bucciarati, because he goes with Zipper Man. Seko hits him with the super kick from out of nowhere. They're like, you thought Dolph Ziggler just came out of nowhere and just was like, "Ugh!" Or Shawn Michaels, I guess, more specifically with the sweet chin music. But anyway. So that's and from there, Seko just starts. He just starts like laying the punches in with just started laying in punches, and Bucciarati's blocking them with Superman. And we kind of find out why, and, well, first off, he actually, like, hits the railing first. And then was kind of like, I don't know if it's like, if he has like, if his powers have like some acidic properties too, because it looked like the bar or whatever that was the railing right behind him, behind Bucciarati, looked like it was melting a little bit, and you could see like this hole in Bucciarati's shoulder. I don't know if that was meant to like it has like it was melting, like it has some acid, like there's acid in his punches or whatever, or it was just something else. But anyway, he starts laying in the punches and Bucciarati's blocking him. And Bucciarati mentions he's trying to figure out how he's so fast with these punches. And he notices that he's like, his fists are like bouncing off the recoil from against this force field or whatever that's behind him to give him a little bit extra punch. He mentions something that's like a boxer leaning against the ropes to give their punches a bit extra snap, which is actually kind of interesting. I mean, I'm not a big boxing guy, to be fair. Like, I'll sometimes, like, I've never really been a big boxing guy, but, you know, if my dad's watching it, like, he, like, bought some pay-per-view off of HBO or whatever, I'll watch it, you know. I'm not, mixed martial arts and boxing aren't really my things. You guys know I'm more of a wrestling guy, that's just me, but hey, if it's on, I'll watch it. My dad's watching, like, some fight on HBO or something. I'll sit down and watch it with him, because I do enjoy some boxing. Not really a sport that I like, barely am in love with, but, you know, I do enjoy some boxing every now and then. Anyway, enough of me going on that tangent about fucking boxing. Anyway, so afterwards, once Bucciarati realizes this, he actually disconnects the area, the part of the floor he's on with Zermatt, and he falls over to put some distance between them, which obviously would fall down. He would get covered with the, with the fungus or whatever. But the mold, excuse me. But once he gets down there, of course, there's no mold on Bucciarati. Psycho has the camera out and everything. He's like wondering, like, well, how do you not have a speck of mold on you? This, that, and the third. It takes care of all of these things. Now, as we know, there's something off of Bucciarati. We don't even know if the dude's alive or dead. I don't know. I assume that he is only mostly dead. You know, there's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead. I've assumed that's what's going on. I don't know. I was actually talking to my man Tribular when he was on his Twitch. I was talking about Part 5 and how weird it was that Iraq could spend like 30 minutes, you know, just of Bucciarati and Giorno just talking in circles about like whether or not Bucciarati's like technically dead or not. And he says it'll make sense, don't worry. Which, still wait on that, but hey, I'll take his word on that. So I guess we'll find out eventually what the hell's really up with Bucciarati. Wouldn't surprise me if it's not until like the end when we get the final boss. We get the final battle between the boss and you know, Giorno, you know. Maybe then we'll finally get the answers, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see when we get there. Anyway, after that, we then head back over to Cioccolata with Giorno and Mista. So once they get there, so we first come back to Cioccolata, he's like trying to get out of there and he's ranting like, oh, Giorno with this, we can bring life to inanimate objects. Oh, fortunately, it's all meaningless because of green tea and all this other shit. He tries to escape, obviously he can't, those branches got that motherfucker locked in. And so he's like looking around, he's like, what the hell? Don't tell me we're actually stuck, piece of junk. So then Giorno and Misa make it up the stairs, and then Misa's like, alright, now he's my range, let's finish him off. Fires off Sex Pistols, and once all the bullets, like, I think like 4 out of the 5 bullets, it didn't tell me the revolver carries, I think it was like 4, maybe 5. Anyway, 6 out of the 5 bullets I got, or whatever, how much it was. Only about like one of them staying behind. So anyway, they go in there, they look around, but they can't find a Cioccolata anywhere. They look around and then they kind of just like one of them, I think number 1's bull got like lodged into like the into the bottom of the helicopter. So now they're just kind of looking around, trying to figure out where he is. And then they're like wondering like what's going on. And then slowly and then 2 of them, I think it was like 2 of them ended up getting like sliced in half. And so then one's like kind of starting to freak out a little bit. He's like, what's going on? I know people can have one stand ability, and all he can do is do that mist. It can do that mold. What's going on here? But then we also see like this blood kind of like pouring out of Giorno's like head, or not Giorno, Misa's head. So we're still kind of wondering what the hell's going on. Number 5 is like, oh no, Mista! I can't get my voice as high as that, but anyway, he's like, Mista! Oh my God, Mista! You know, and he's like roaring, he's like, you know, running, he's just confused everyone else, and I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? So then Giorno decides to go. Well, first off, then I think 6 and 7 tried to go and were also getting attacked. They told number 1 to get out of there, but he ended up. But they ended up like 7 falled on top of number 6 with more blood came on Mista, and Giorno puts him down the ground. So then Giorno checks for himself. He puts his hands on the helicopter to try, I guess, feel if he's actually there. Well, he can't get his exact location. He knows they still in the helicopter, so he fires off some more branches that go throughout that goes to the helicopter, but yet finds jack shit. And then number 1 is kind of by the cockpit area, and he's and Giorno's like, quick, number 1, get on to me. And then number 5, well, first up before that, Mista was almost like he was his dying breath almost. He's like, take this bullet with you, number 5, and watch Giorno's back. It's almost like we were about to watch Mista die, low key. And the music right here in this part of the episode right here was absolutely fantastic. I really dug that track there. I really dug the track I was playing here. So anyway, after Giorno gets in there and he tries to figure out, then Green, once number 5 tells me that it's actually trapped, we see Chocolata go in for the kill, but Giorno managed to counter it. Giorno managed to counter with Golden Wind, and then he and then Golden Wind has him whatever, and then the dude legit starts stabbing his chest. I shit you not, he starts stabbing his chest, pretty much removing the last part of his torso, leaving only his torso and his spine is moving like a tail. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was fucking freaky. That was legit kind of freaky, man. That shit was fucking freaky. I was legit watching and be like, okay, why is this spine moving like that? And he's going on about how, I gotta get rid of these, I have to take care of these veins to make sure that I still keep my freedom of movement. And we also see, I guess one of his missing arms, when the arms he cut off, is actually punching Jordan. And he's trying to push him off the helicopter, obviously, to make him go down, to of course get the mold and kill him. So he's kind of pushing him down while he's going on about, all this shit about his veins and everything that Green, so he can take care of that. So then it looks like he's about to fall off, and so it looks like, and you got number 5, you're like, no, Giorno, you can't fall anymore, Giorno! And he's slowly edging more towards the edge of the helicopter about to fall off. So after that, after he's still got his fist right up in him, he's going on about the 2 forms of happiness and about how there's that goes from despair to hopefulness, and then when you got him the branches, I felt something close to severe, yada 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 yada. Giorno is just fuck this, he's managed to get the arm off him and he goes to move forward. But he says, who said you could get up? And BAM! Another kick that sends Giorno just flying out. And so, but then number 5 comes in with the clutch. He fires off that bullet, and then as it goes through his hand, and then it kind of builds a tree around builds a tree branch to back to the helicopter. So he grabs onto it and he starts walking forward. But then Chocolate is like, you idiot! This was you idiot! My green tea takes care of eats all living things. And that includes tree branches. And so then he starts to, and then we see the mold going on top of the tree branch that Giorno's on. Number 5 is telling him Giorno, come on, you gotta jump! So he's telling him to jump, and Giorno manages to get out, manages to get back on, but it looks like he starts to fall off. But he starts to fall off right before he goes for the jump. But then there's a lack of air. He does a Pele kick, or a Pele kick, however you pronounce that dude's name. A Pele kick up to where I think it was the propellers for the helicopter is at. And the next thing we know, it turns into a bullet. It goes right through his face, through his cheek or whatever. He says, and then Jordan was like, haha, you see. This was all part of my plan. Everyone's being eyes and you this was all part of my plan. Anyway, so after he goes on how this brings him no joy or whatever. Oh, first off, when he starts falling, I almost forgot to mention. First off, when he starts falling, Chocolate is on the verge of having the grip, is in the middle about to come in his pants. He's like, oh yes, turn over here, Giorno, so I can see your face before you die. Oh, he's going on there. Then Giorno tells him about this brings me no joy. This was all part of the plan. I was waiting the entire time. This, that, third. Anyway, it hits on the cheek and they both start falling down. Once they both, and then Chocolata lands on this branch, and it looks like the dude's dead. And then Giorno is telling, and number 5 is like, Silver, like, we got him, Giorno! And so then Giorno says, like, number 5, I hate to cut your celebrity short, but scooch. And then Giorno has this long, overly drawn out speech that summarizes as, fam, you dead? So first Giorno says, you were most likely thinking that you will go, if I could just scooch over there, I could get some more mold and escape. And then he goes on about his injuries. He said he is like there's a puncture in his right lung, some tendons in like his shoulder area is cracked, he has some he has 4 cracked ribs, some bones in his wrist or whatever, or shot, or whatever. I'm not a doctor, I don't even remember half the shit he was even saying at this point. And then he goes on that if he stays there, he will show him mercy and let him live. And then once he starts to move, and he tells me he's going to move over there, but once he does, he's like, ha ha ha, you fool, look behind you, sucker, you think I was just going to let that happen? Ha ha ha, now look, my severed hand is now in Misa's throat, now you have to choose, will you save your friend or end me? And he's just like, you didn't think I, and then so the dude goes on, and then next thing he knows, this like golden beetle shoots right out of his skull, and it was pretty nasty, not to be fair. And then Giorno goes on about the shrapnel shared that went through his head and his cheek was actually like pieces that they transformed into like a beetle and accelerated the growth of it. Hence why, you know, that's why I was able to just crack through his skull like that. I don't know how I went through all the bones and everything, but maybe beetles have strong teeth or something. Anyway. The beetle, anyway, it goes down his hair, there's just blood, he's just like, blah, blah, he's just like mumbling incoherently, he's like, oh please, did you think I was serious? Why I would let some piece of shit like you live? And then we get the legendary, the amazing, the glorious 7-page Muda. And man, it was that cigar. I posted it on Twitter. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys know I posted it. I posted my clip of it, man. Ooh, it was absolutely legendary, man. Absolutely legendary. I cannot wait. So that was awesome. Of course, he punches him into the trash can, and all that shit happens. Mista starts to wake up. All is good. We then head over back, and then the Giorno notices that there's actually a phone. It's like, oh shit, who did he call? He starts to freak out a little bit, and we find out that Chocolata's in there. He's gonna have a meeting with the trash compactor. But Secco calls up Chocolata. He's like, what's going on? Why is he taking so long? And then next he gets like this voicemail from Chocolata, Chocolata. And in there he kind of goes on. I guess I don't know how he got this or when he got this. Or whatever, but he checks it, and I guess he took this while he was in the helicopter with Giorno, before Giorno came in there, and he goes on about like, you know, treats and everything, and then he's like, how many treats you want? He's like, and he's like 2. He's like, no, I want more. But 5. He's like, and this whole time I'm watching this whole thing, I'm like a Bakio being like, is this a new kind of fetish or something? Like, what the fuck is this? But anyway. After that whole deal, he ends the voice message off by saying, with Chocolata saying, that Secco is very dear to him, and then he hangs up. Don't know what that was all about, but anyway, we end the episode off with Butcherei thinking he's in the clear, but Secco rises from the grave. We also see Butcherei kind of like sink into the floor a little bit, and then we look over into the Coliseum, and we see a man with binoculars. Now, we don't see his face, but it don't take a genius to find out that that's my man, Polnareff, once again back. Which, that was absolutely amazing, and I was so happy to see Polnareff. I legit lost my shit. Now, I did know that he was going to make a return in Part 5. I think I mentioned this earlier on in some of my other episode reviews, that I knew an old JoJo character was going to make a return here. I knew, but I didn't say that, obviously, because I didn't want to spoil any of you dub-onlys like me. So I knew that Polar was going to make appearance in the show eventually, but I didn't think he was the guy that was, you know, I thought it was they might like ask for his help or something, or maybe they just stumble upon him. I didn't think he was actually the guy with the knowing about the sand arrows and all that other shit, which I guess should have been a dead giveaway, to be fair, because of what happened in Part 3. But hey, it was still a surprise for me, which I appreciated. So yeah, man. Anyway, overall, I am going to give this episode 10 out of 10 for the 7-page Muda, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, hope y'all enjoy. Oh, so one other thing I forgot to mention before I end the video off, Assassination Classroom made its debut this week. I think I mentioned beforehand a couple weeks back when it got announced that it was coming. But I love Assassination Classroom, man. I love watching both those seasons, and I definitely look forward to rewatching them. Watching the first episode again, it was a treat. Seeing the cast again. Karma wasn't there yet, but I think he gets into it a little bit later on season 1. But yeah, man, I'm gonna have fun rewatching it. And just watching the OP again, yo. I started dancing around just thinking, Yannick, you know. Man, I love Ass Class. I can't wait to watch more of it every week. That's gonna be fun. Anyway. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Instagram, Twitter if you like it, links down in the description box below, and as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.